Alright, so getting straight into it, one of the first things that I like to do with every single one of my new eBay accounts, so just all of the different eBay stores that I'm managing for people, is to make sure that all of the personal details have been verified. You need to make sure that whatever details eBay needs from you, whether it's your identification or whether they need you to verify your address or your email, whatever they need you to verify, you need to make sure that you do that before you do anything else. Because you don't want to get to a point where you're starting to make sales, you're starting to bring money into your business, but because you haven't given all of the information to eBay when you first signed up, they're now holding on to the money longer than what they should do. So make sure you send all the documents, give them all of the information they need before you do anything else. So moving on to one of the next things that you need to be working on, once you have verified everything and you've got your eBay account up and running, is to make sure that you build your feedback score. So a lot of beginners that want to start selling on eBay don't realize that eBay is built on a feedback system, which means that whenever a customer comes across the product that you might be selling, one of the first things that they're going to do is look at your feedback score. And if you haven't built your feedback score up to a good amount, then it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to get sales in the initial days of you starting to sell all of the products that you're trying to sell. So as you can see with this brand new store that I'm looking to start selling on, moving into 2023, I've built the feedback score up to 346. And a lot of you are probably wondering, how exactly was you able to get it to this high amount? Well, the way that I was able to do it was by buying cheap items from various different sellers. So you can buy cheap items that you don't necessarily need for the purpose of building up your feedback score, or you can buy items that you actually need, message the seller, let them know that you bought the item, you're happy with it, and if they can also leave you positive feedback. I would say that 95% of the time, most people that you buy from on eBay automatically leave you feedback anyway. So that's one way that I was able to get my feedback score up to this high amount. Another thing that you could do to build up your feedback score is list items, sell them for a cheap amount, not necessarily trying to make profit, but again, you're only doing it with the intention of the customer leaving you positive feedback. And another reason why you may want to list items on your store and not really make any profit from it for you to be able to sell it fast is because you're also going to be able to build up your eBay selling limit. So for those of you that are new to eBay and you're not really sure of exactly how it works, if you're a brand new seller and you've just opened up a brand new account, you're going to be subjected to a low selling limit, which means that you're not going to be able to list that many items. And you're going to have to prove yourself to eBay every single month for them to want to increase your selling limit to a higher amount. So they put these selling limits in place for them to monitor whether or not you're providing good quality items, good service to their customers. And if you are able to do that, they're going to increase your monthly limits. As you can see with this store, I'm allowed to list over 1,000 items per month. And I'm also allowed to list up to £15,000 worth of product as well. So it probably took me around 2 months for me to get the feedback to this point and also get the monthly limits to this point as well. And the reason why I like to get my new eBay accounts up to a high selling limit just like this is for a number of different reasons. Number one, I'm going to be able to test multiple different products for me to find a winning product that's doing well so that I can put more marketing efforts behind that particular item. Number two, I'm going to be able to obviously make more money because if I'm able to list 1,000 products instead of, let's say, 100 products, of course I'm going to be able to make more revenue and make more profit. And because eBay dropshipping is a volume game, which means that you're not going to make a lot of money on each individual unit that you sell, but you're going to make money when it comes to all of the different items that you're selling throughout the month. You need to make sure that you're able to list as many products as possible. So one of the next things that you need to do once you've built up your account and you're ready to start listing products is, of course, you need to find winning products for you to list. And the reason why you need to make sure that you're doing thorough product research is because you're only allowed to list a certain amount of items in a particular month, and you don't want to waste your limit on items that are not going to sell. So I'm going to walk you through my step-by-step method, what I do when it comes to doing product research, and I've got various different ways that I do it, but I'm going to show you the most basic way. So first things first, what you need to do is click on shop by category. Then what you need to do is click on this link over here. It's then going to take you to this page right here where you're going to be able to see all of these different categories on eBay right now. For example, home and garden, pet supplies, DIY tools, baby essentials. There's so many different categories to choose from, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to click on baby essentials. So you're then going to be able to use this information depending on which category you clicked on for you to kind of get an idea on which item you can maybe do a little bit more research into. So in today's video, I'm going to do research into baby monitors. And for me to figure out whether or not baby monitors are worth me listing on my store, what I like to do is go over to eBay's product research tool called Terapeak. And the way that you're going to be able to find it is by going over to research over here and then clicking on Terapeak product research. It's then going to bring up this page right here. So you need to type in the item that you're selling, and you also need to make sure that you selected the right eBay listing site. So I've left it to ebay.co.uk, and I've also selected the last 2 years as well. And scrolling down over here, we can see that in the last 2 years, over £5 million has been spent on baby monitors, which means that there's a lot of interest and a lot of money being spent on this product. And scrolling down over here, we can confirm that by looking at the daily sales for this item. So as you can see, over the last 2 years, sales have been very, very consistent. In 2021, there was around 1,900 units that were being purchased every single day. In 2022, it's around 2,000, 1,000 units. It's very consistent over the last 2 years. And that's what you want to make sure that you're doing. You want to make sure that you're doing research to make sure that you're selling an evergreen item that isn't trending just for the moment. So now that I know that I'm going to be selling these particular items, the next thing that I need to do is go over to a dropshipping supplier's website and see if they've got it available. And as you can see, I've just jumped over to CJ Dropshipping, which is one of the suppliers that I use, and I've typed in baby monitor right there. And scrolling down, we can see that they've got all of these different monitors available right now. And the main thing that I want to show you from this point is how you can use CJ Dropshipping and exactly what you need to do when it comes to getting the product from CJ Dropshipping and linking it onto the back end of your eBay store. So again, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to click on a random product. So I'm going to click on this one right here. So there's a few things that I look out for once I'm on this page right here. So one of the first things is the total cost of the item. So as we can see, it's going to cost me around $60 for me to buy this product, which means that if I want to sell it for around, let's say £69, £80, I'm going to be able to make, let's say, around £20 profit. Obviously, I need to factor in the eBay fees and all of that, but this just gives me a rough idea of how much I'm going to be able to make in profit depending on how much I'm going to sell the item for. I also want to check how long it's going to take for the customer to receive it. So as we can see right there, it's going to take between 7 to 15 days for the customer to receive it in the UK. Now, of course, this isn't ideal because most customers in this day and age want to receive their orders within 1 or 2 days. So when it comes to dropshipping, this is just something that you're going to have to deal with. And as I said earlier, it's all about volume. It's all about listing as many products as possible, rising as high as you can in the eBay search results so that you're going to be able to make sales on a consistent basis with all of the different items that you've got listed. So once you find a product that you're happy to dropship, you're somewhat happy with the estimated delivery time, you can see that there's enough inventory in the warehouse available. The next thing that you now need to do is list the product onto your store. And the way that I like to do that is by using AutoDS. And the way that it works is very simple. First things first, what you need to do is sign up for an AutoDS account, which you could do by clicking the first link in the description down below for a 30-day trial. Once you've signed up and you've gone through that entire process, this is a similar page to what you're going to see. Then what you need to do is connect your eBay account to AutoDS so that everything is integrated as it should be. The way to do that is by clicking on this option over here. Then what you need to do is click on eBay Store, then click on Continue, and then go through that entire process to make sure that everything is integrated as it should. Then once you've done that, when it now comes to you adding products onto your eBay store, again, that's very simple. What you need to do is click on Add Products over here. Click on Single Product, but you can also add multiple products if you wanted to. But in this case, I'm just going to show you how to add one product. Then you need to go back over to the product that you're looking at. So in this case, we're looking at this product. You're going to copy the URL just like that. Go back over to AutoDS, paste it in there just like that. Make sure that the supplier source and the region is correct, and then click on Edit Now. So as we can see, the product has now been loaded onto AutoDS. So what we need to do now before it's actually onto the back end of our eBay store is to make sure that we update all of the information. So I'm going to insert a title right here. Then you need to make sure that you selected the right category. You can also go through all of this information to make sure that it's accurate to whatever product you're selling, as well as the description. It's very important to make sure that you add as much information about the product in terms of how long it's going to take for the customer to receive it in this section right here. This section right here is what the customer is going to read for them to make a decision on whether to buy your product or not. So what I like to do in this section here is to make sure that I'm using a custom listing template, but I'm not going to go through that in today's video. Otherwise, this video is going to end up being an hour long. And I just want to show you guys the basics of getting started with eBay dropshipping. But you need to make sure that you go through this section here, update it, make it look nice. Then you also want to double check the variants as well and remove any of the variants that you don't necessarily need. Like for example, I don't necessarily need the EU variant as well as the Australian one and the US one because I'm going to be selling it to customers within the UK. So I can simply click on delete over here and remove them. Then what you want to do is make sure that all of the images are up to the standard that you're happy with. And by the way, all of this information has been pulled directly from CJ Dropshipping's page. So that's how AutoDS gets all the information in terms of the images as well as the actual description as well. So you want to make sure that you're happy with the images as well as the item specifications because that's what's going to help you get ranked in the eBay search results. So you're going to need to go through all of that information and then click on save and import. And if I jump onto the back end of the eBay store that I showed you earlier, the product has now been loaded successfully to my eBay store right here, which means that the listing is now live, ready for customers to buy it. But of course, I'm going to have to optimize the title, the description, the images if necessary. But from this entire process, you can see exactly what I did when it came to finding winning products, listing it onto my store with a few clicks of a button, connecting it to my supplier's website, which means that every single time I now make a sale on eBay, because everything is integrated in terms of my supplier, AutoDS, and my eBay account, I'm going to be able to set up auto fulfillment through AutoDS so that whenever an order comes in, they're going to be able to automatically ship it to my customer without me having to copy and paste my buyer's information every single time I make a sale. And that's the reason why I always recommend beginners to look into using AutoDS, because it just makes the whole listing as well as the fulfillment side of things a lot more easier. So don't forget to sign up for a 30-day trial by clicking the link in my description down below. Now, of course, there's so much more that goes into starting an eBay dropshipping business. I just wanted to give you guys the basics, just so that you know exactly what you need to do straight after watching this video. But if you want a little bit more information in a step-by-step format, then you can visit www.projectebay.com, because over there what I do is walk you through step-by-step everything that I've learned over the years when it comes to selling on eBay and being successful, so that you have a detailed blueprint to follow to increase your chances of eBay success. So you can visit the website that I said earlier, or you can click the second link in the description down below. Or if you rather watch another YouTube video that I made not too long ago where I broke down some other useful things that will definitely help you when it comes to being pointed in the right direction with your eBay business, then make sure you click the link right there. Check that video out straight after this one, because it's already helped out so many people, and I'm sure that it's going to help you out too. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you stay safe out there. Peace.